was just been tripping off some things I learned about this Cummins, this X15 series motor. This is the Performance series motor. You can tell by the black plate badging here. Was just out here checking my oil, about to add a little bit of coolant. Want to stay on top of my pre-chip duties, but there's a couple things that I do think I'm gonna go ahead and be replacing if I can get the money up and get the time to do it. And I think I do want to swap out my air intake to more than likely those PDI products. I like those. Definitely want to probably upgrade the air intake, and also over here on the other side, the air exhaust. I just feel like these two are important, man. It's a guy on YouTube that I watch. He's based out of Florida. He does heavy haul diesel life. Shout out to Diesel Life. Been keeping up with him, man. He also has a 2024 Peterbilt 389 model. Same motor here, Cummins engine. And his engine basically just blew on him. He's going back and forth with PACCAR and Rush Peterbilt and Cummins. The people, you know, all three people that's involved with building these trucks. And basically, like he's saying, he just can't understand how come they would not basically replace his whole motor. Like he said, you spend over $200,000 on these trucks and you purchase a new motor. So you're financing a new motor, you're making payments on a new motor. You purchase a new truck, you want a new motor. You didn't purchase it with a rebuilt engine. So long story short, his EGR went out on him. I'm not a super diesel mechanic, but if I'm not mistaken, these bellows right here, so I'm assuming this obviously is the EGR, and then it has a cooler system, and it looks like you can clearly see where it's exhausting back into the motor. So now I clearly understand why guys are so against these DEF systems, man. I never really understood it until I watched his video and saw what he was going through with a blown motor on a new truck, going back and forth with Peterbilt about them just rebuilding it instead of replacing it. Myself, when I see stuff like that, it just normally will plant a seed on me, guys, where I'll go do a lot of research on it. So I remember I was at a truck stop one night and I was having a talk with a gentleman, and he's like, man, a lot of people delete it. I'm like, you know, well, why? He said, well, they, you know, it's just like, it's this picture that's just choking your engine as far as the performance from it. And I wasn't clear on what he meant by that, but once I did my own research after watching my guy's video and getting the blown EGR that basically messed up a lot of his pistons and stuff like that, I did not realize, guys, that a portion of your exhaust is feeding back into the motor. It's not going all out the stacks. So obviously that's what the guy meant when he said it's just like it's choking your motor, man. You delete it. But I just did not realize, and I cannot fathom how you got the air intake here, you intaking air, it's going through the air intake manifold and you exhausting it out. But why in the world would they build something just with these EPA rules and regulations and exhaust a portion of that dirty, exhausted air back into a brand new motor, man? That's crazy to me, guys. You know, if I'm not explaining something right, please correct me in the comments, but from based on what I studied and read, in layman's terms, that's what's going on. You're sucking in clean air, you exhausting a nice portion of it out of your stacks once it mixes with the DEF system and the fluid, but a portion of that is being pushed right back into your motor, man. So that's where all the tar build up and all the soot gets built up. And if you're not staying on top of having your EGR valve and the cooler and all the sensors cleaned out and serviced, man, you know, I basically run the same risk of what he's going through. I see why guys will go ahead and replace the air exhaust manifold and on the other side the intake manifold. And basically, you know, you're just increasing, you know, it's basically just a bigger manifold allowing more air to get in. And as far as the exhaust, I really don't know the mechanics of it, but that's crazy, man. That's crazy. Obviously this is the EGR right here, and I'm looking at this tube, and it, okay, yeah, you can see it here. So you see it exhausting here. It's coming around right here. That red pipe is going, come around here. See that pipe came out of the EGR, crossed over into here, getting pushed in here, right back into the engine through the intake manifold. It's crazy, man. So you would think the OEM part would be better to restrict the air, or getting the PDI aftermarket where it's opening it up and allowing more air to get in there. I guess maybe it is better when you think about it, because it is mixing with the fresh air going in. As you can see here, intake air breather comes in, shoots to the other side. Just trying to get a better understanding of the mechanics of these engines, man. Yeah, comes across. This one here comes in through here, comes in, comes through the turbo. Some of it is exhausted into here. And wow, it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Sup, y'all, Uncle Cummins here. I see Provider got the hood down so y'all can get a good look at me. Yay, it's me looking red as ever. I sure am glad Provider takes the time to learn more about me and how my makers have me all clogged up, limiting my performance. But as long as he stays on top of my oil and coolant as he's doing now, along with servicing this dang on EGR, keeping it clean, amongst other things, he and I should be good to go and stay in the wind, you dig?
Truck been sitting for the last couple of days since I've been home. Got some other stuff lined up for me excellent in the next few days. So engine oil, I'm sure, is super rested, super cold, sitting at the bottom of the reservoir inside of there. So let this dipstick sit, pull it out, see if we need to add any oil, man. Definitely want to get me some more fuel filters. I don't know, let me know, guys. I know, like, if you're in the cold weather, obviously you're gonna change the main fuel filter, but do you change this one as well? You know, do you change this one as well? I got to figure out how, if you do, shit, how do you drain out the fuel in there? It's a lot I need to learn as far as these fuel filters and dealing with the cold weather. So holla at me if you know about this one and this one, or if it's one that I'm missing, please get in the comments and let me know. You know, and where do you drain this out at? I'm sure this is just a twist off with some a ratchet strap, and I know this will be full of fuel. Put like a pan underneath there to catch anything, but how do you drain this, and do you change this filter in the cold weather? Let's pull this bad boy out, see. Going with that Shell Rotella 1030 weight. I go a little bit more. Yeah, like I say, seeing my man Diesel Life go through that. Who else? Another little youngster up out of Chicago. T2 Alameen Trucking, Alameen Brothers Trucking. He got the Kenworth W900. This truck done been in the shop several times for injector situations, and it's unreal, man. Kenworth or Peterbilt, they still running with one of these Cummins in it. So I think that's a real unfortunate thing. You go buy a brand new truck I mean, I know everything, you know, anything man-made, you're gonna have its flaws, but for that type of money, it's like, where's the quality control at, man? None whatsoever. So, do my best to stay on top of all my service intervals as far as oiling, cooling, and greasing down the frame, the chassis, or whatnot, and make sure on my next one, when I pull up to the service center, I'm gonna be all in their business regarding that EGR. And I already went in there, you know, and got a recall done on this thing by way of my own research, and then probably about a couple weeks after that, I received a letter from Packard where they had sent it out because this Bendix ECU module needed an update. It was just throwing out signals, confusing signals as far as the ABS system and the cruise control system. So I got that done, but you can share some of your knowledge with me regarding these DEF system and EGRs and these Cummins, and you know, staying on top of your maintenance and different things like that. You know, I learned a lot from you guys, so a lot of times you guys be in the comments saying you're learning from me. Iron sharpens iron, man. But I think it's really sad that, you know, American made product, you spend this type of money and you got to be worried about stuff like this, pushing exhausted nasty air back into a brand new motor. That's crazy when you think about it, right? Just want to tap in with you guys, man. Be sure to subscribe, like, comment, show me some thumbs up love. I appreciate every last one of you. Get down in the comments and let me know. Share your thoughts with me on these EGRs, on these Cummins.